The Robbery Gone Wrong Killing of Saul Murray, a tragic tale of deception, betrayal, and murder. In February 2022, a shocking and tragic crime unfolded in Luton, where a man's life was brutally taken during a robbery that went horribly wrong. Saul Murray, a 33-year-old man who had a reputation for showing off luxury items like fake Rolex watches on his Instagram, became the target of a sinister plot orchestrated by 4 individuals. This is the story of how a seemingly simple robbery turned into a murder, and how a series of calculated actions led to a devastating loss for Saul's family. The premeditated plan. Saul Murray's life would change forever when he met a woman named Surpreet Dillon through Instagram. According to the prosecution, Dillon and her co-defendant, Temadayo Awe, had a history of setting up honey trap schemes on men they found on social media. These traps typically involved luring men into situations where they would drug them, rob them, and take valuable items, often watches and other designer goods, while the victims were unconscious. Dillon's contact with Saul was no different. She and Awe made plans to meet him in Luton, where Saul lived. The women traveled from London, arriving at Saul's flat with a Mercedes A-Class car that was hired by Cleon Brown, another defendant in the case. Once inside Saul's flat, the women shared brandy with him, and in an attempt to knock him unconscious, they laced his drink with GHB, a sedative. The robbery that went wrong. But things did not go according to plan. Saul, who had been expecting a fun evening, was not knocked out by the GHB as the women had hoped. This led to a change in the plan. Dillon and Awe had already targeted several men in the past, using the same tactics, but they had never faced such resistance. Realizing they couldn't carry out the robbery alone, they called in their male accomplices, Ikam Afia and Cleon Brown, to escalate the situation. Ikam Afia, a 31-year-old from Hackney, was the one who brought a knife to the scene. The tension quickly escalated as the women's initial plan, drugging Saul to rob him while he slept, fell apart. The situation turned violent when Afia and Brown arrived and began attacking Saul. The night took a dark turn when Saul was fatally stabbed. A post-mortem examination later confirmed that the cause of his death was blood loss from a deep knife wound to his thigh. His body was later found outside his flat in a pool of blood, naked, by a night shift worker. CCTV footage and the investigation. The investigation was quick to gather crucial evidence. CCTV footage from the building showed the 4 defendants leaving Saul's flat, and it became clear that the crime had been a planned attack. The footage also revealed that the women, Dillon and Awe, had been involved in previous honey trap schemes. In fact, Dillon admitted during her trial that she had targeted at least 6 men between October 2021 and February 2022, with Awe being involved in 4 of those incidents. The police also discovered that Saul had been posing on Instagram with luxury items, including what appeared to be Rolex watches. Although they were later found to be fake, Saul had been using his social media presence to project an image of wealth and success. This attracted the attention of Dillon, Awe, and their accomplices, who saw him as an easy target for their criminal activities. The aftermath, a family's grief. Saul Murray's tragic death left a profound impact on his family. His father, Colin Murray, spoke during the trial, expressing how deeply the loss of his son had affected him. He shared that the CCTV footage of his son's final moments haunted him, saying, "It's the last thing I think about before going to sleep, and the first thing I think about when I wake up." These heartbreaking words reflected the anguish Saul's family had endured since the loss of their beloved son. Judge Michael Simon, who presided over the trial, acknowledged the immense pain felt by Saul's family, stating that nothing the court could do would ever repair the cavernous void left in their hearts. The judge also noted that the 4 defendants had planned to rob Saul, but the situation had escalated in an unexpected and tragic way. The courtroom drama. During the trial, the details of the events that led to Saul's death were laid bare. Surpreet Dillon, 36, admitted to the court that she and Awe had targeted men in the past using similar tactics. The prosecutor, Jane Bickerstaff, KC, described the women's actions as a form of predatory behavior. The judge also commented on how Dillon had lived a predatory lifestyle, regularly contacting men through social media with the intent to rob them. In the end, the four defendants were found guilty of various charges. Ikam Afia, who had been the one to bring the knife to the scene, was sentenced to life in prison for murder, with a minimum term of 25 years.